Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to your fourth day of the Absolute Beginners Yoga series. I'm super excited for this one because today we're going to do yin yoga. So the first three sessions we were doing vinyasa yoga, which is more focused on the energy of the sun. This is more energizing, more heat building. So the yin version of yoga is a little bit slower. It's more focused on the energy of the moon. So think about darkness, kind of relaxation, soothing, calming, super mellow vibes. So it's kind of the difference between a sun energy, moon energy, yin energy, yang energy. And we're able to tap into those different energies by using our body and positioning our body in certain ways. So one of the most, not the most, but I guess I should say one of the biggest things that you can get from a yin yoga practice is this really deep emotional release. So I want you to just keep that in mind and be aware that that's to be expected. Some of these poses that you'll get into, you'll be holding them for a while, and it's interesting to see what different types of emotions will start to bubble up to the surface. You may feel like crying at a certain point, you may feel frustrated at a certain point, or overwhelmed with a lot of thoughts kind of surfacing or coming to mind that you don't even know why they're coming up. And that's totally a part of the process. Just keep breathing. I hope that you have some water next to you to help you for some of the more intense moments so you can just kind of flush it all out and be with yourself through the whole process. So let's get started. Um, if you're getting my emails, then you already know that today I'm going to be using this blanket just to make this even more comfortable. So if you have a blanket as well, take your time to go grab one and get ready with that. We're going to begin in a kneeling position on the mat. I'm going to show you how to set up the blanket too. I kind of want to give you a second to grab it and get ready. But here's what we're going to do. Because most of the sequence will be taking place on the floor, we want our mat and our whole situation to just be really comfortable. So I'm going to take my blanket. It's bigger. It's like this big, wide blanket. I'm folding it in half. And I'm going to drape it over the mat long ways, just so that I have this really soft, really inviting kind of space to practice from. That's really all there is to it. At the end, you may want to fold up certain corners of the blanket to cover yourself, keep you warm, and also just having that extra pressure on your body almost feels like a nice warm hug, and it's nice to be able to offer yourself that experience and not always have to depend on someone else for you to be able to feel comfortable and loved, and supported. So I'm going to face you, but I encourage you to turn and face the long way of your mat. So you're sitting kind of towards the back of the mat. You've got the whole length in front of you. Kneeling, so the toes are untucked. The tops of your feet are pressing down into your mat. Your hips are sitting right on top of your ankles or right on top of your heels. If that's feeling a little uncomfortable, a little too much for the knees, you can also totally grab like a pillow, or you can take your blanket and fold it up a little bit more to put in between your ankles, kind of in between your feet, and give yourself a little bit of a lift on the hips to take some pressure off of the knees and your joints. But choose whatever feels comfortable for you. I'm going to turn and face you just so that you can see me. And once you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. Let the hands rest on top of the legs. Just take a couple of deep breaths here. So inhale through your nose. Hold it for a moment. And then exhale through the mouth. Keep that going. Inhale through the nose. Pause. And exhale through the mouth. A couple more times. We're using these first few moments just to come into the room, come into your body, into this present moment. Letting go of whatever went on this morning or earlier today. Letting go of any to-do list that you have for later on, and just allow yourself to be here right now. Just for the sake of warming up the body before we get moving, start to tuck your chin down towards your chest. Try to keep the shoulders nice and tall as they were, and allow this stretch to be only in the neck. Take a few breaths here, sending that fresh oxygen into the back of the neck and the top of your shoulders. Imagine that you could use your breath to break up the tension in your muscles. And then gently start to roll the right ear towards your right shoulder. Inhale. Then exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Do that 2 more times on your own, using your breath to guide you. And lifting your chin up into a neutral position. You're going to lift that right arm up over your head. Place the left hand next to you. Take a big side bend here. You're still kneeling, the hips are still down on the heels. You're just reaching over to the left side. Maybe you bring that elbow down towards the mat. And just breathe. Imagine your waist is getting longer. Coming back up through center, you're going to walk your hands forwards to find child's pose. So keep the hips down on the heels, arms reach all the way forward, forehead comes all the way down to the mat. Now I'll turn sideways. Take a couple of breaths here in your child's pose. This is one that we've already done together. We did this last week. We did this when we were still learning the sun salutation. I want you to take this opportunity to set an intention for your flow today. Maybe it's to honor Capricorn season. Maybe it's to honor the new moon coming tomorrow. Maybe it's just to relax, to learn something about yourself and your body. Whatever it may be, start to tap into that energy now. You're still in your child's pose, the forehead pressed down against the mat. Start to form that intention into an affirmation, a small phrase, maybe just one word or a group of words. Something like, I am strong. I honor the new moon. I am relaxed. Whatever it may be. And repeat it to yourself here 4 times. Now reaching the arms as far forwards as you can. Start to press into your palms and slowly lift yourself up, coming into a tabletop position. If you still have the pillow in between your legs, go ahead and move that out of your way. Feel the hands just right underneath your shoulders. You're going to tuck your toes and then lift your hips, lift your knees, and come into downward facing dog. Nice and easy this time. Maybe you bend the knees, lengthening through your spine. Take a few deep breaths here. And slowly start to pick up your right foot, reaching it up behind you. And you're going to gently swing that leg forwards so that you step in between your hands. Drop that back knee and find this low lunge position. So you want your knee to be stacked right on top of your ankle. So you're not reaching the knee all the way forwards past the toes. And you also don't have too far of a stance either. You want to keep this nice sort of right angle going on. Just to protect the knee, protect the ankle. You can keep one hand on either side of that front knee and just sort of tuck your chin here. Breathe. Notice how you feel. Notice if distractions are coming to you. And just be aware of all these sensations, all these small nuances of this practice. The longer you hold still, the more clear things can become for you. And that's true in so many different areas of your life. If you can practice not reacting to small changes, energetic shifts, and you can start to see the truth of the situation. Start to see what's really going on. So in this way, it's able to keep us very relaxed, even when we get off the yoga mat and we're in the real world, because we learn how to just stay still and stay curious about what we're observing, rather than getting so caught up in the minutia, details, and then responding. Instead, we can be the ones with a level-headed approach, the ones with a more peaceful perspective. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more inhale. You're going to start to shift the hips back and straighten through your right leg. You can think about pushing the right leg forwards a little bit so that you don't bring your hips all the way back to the heel or anything. It's just a gentle little rock in that backwards direction. You can lengthen through that front leg. Now keep the hands on either side of the leg. Maybe you walk them forwards and kind of fold over if that feels good. Or just stay here with a nice long spine. This is your half splits position. So from here, you're likely feeling a big stretch all through the back of the leg, hamstrings, maybe a little in the top of the foot if you have the toes pointed. And again, I want to encourage you just to stay curious about these sensations, how this feels, the emotions that come up. When you think about the energy of the moon, there's a little bit of this mystery to it, And especially, on nights when the moon is really big and beautiful, lighting up the sky, there's the tendency to feel like, oh, wow, I'd love to learn more about this, it's kind of this mystical and magical experience. When you practice yin yoga, you become the moon. The feelings that you feel, the sensations, the thoughts that you experience become the moon. They become that intriguing, magical force for you to ponder on and honor. So see if you can keep that energy as you're moving through the rest of these shapes. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale. One more time, deep breath in. And exhale. This time as you breathe in, start to bend the front knee. So you're coming back into your low lunge position. If you need to adjust to get the knee right over the ankle, please do. Pausing here for a moment, notice how it may feel different the second time versus the first time. Then you're going to pick up your right hand and put it inside of your right foot. So now the setup is hand, hand, foot. You're going to heel toe the right foot out to the right side, so it's all the way towards the edge of the mat. You're basically still in a low lunge, but the front leg is a lot wider, a lot more open. You can choose to roll to the outside edge of the right foot and sort of open up that right knee. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me better, but I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. So you have the right leg forward, it's out to the side, and you can use the right hand to push that knee open if that feels good, or you can just sort of stay there, balancing on the hands, observing what's coming up. Sometimes it feels good to roll to the outer edge of that foot, but without using the hand to push, and just sort of let that hip naturally, kind of organically open up and relax on its own. Coming back to your intention here, that affirmation you created for yourself a little while ago. Repeat it to yourself in your head or out loud a couple of times here. Notice if your arms are feeling tired and just send fresh breath into them. Send fresh breath any place in the body that feels a little intense, tired. In this way, you're using your breath as an invitation to your body to soften and surrender. Take another deep inhale and deep exhale. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. Start to bring the sole of the right foot flat if it's not already, and then heel toe that foot right in between the hands again. So you're back to your regular low lunge. You're going to tuck your back toes and lift up that back knee. So you're in a more of a runner's lunge shape. From here, press the hands down nice and firm into your mat. You're going to step the right foot back so you find plank pose, and then lower your knees for tabletop, untucking the toes here. Start to crawl your knees to the middle of the mat. You're going to tuck the toes again and roll over so that you're balancing on the tiptoes in this little squat. We're going to move into a yogi squat pose, which is called malasana in Sanskrit. I'll turn to face you so that you can see what's going on. And for this one too, you may want to fold up your blanket for support. So I'll show you a good way to do that. You have the blanket already nice and long, and if you don't have a blanket, that's totally okay. You can use a pillow or even like a thick book would work too if you don't have a yoga block. That's what those are used for, but really just use whatever you have around. This is just about giving you a little bit of added height so that you can feel supported and you're not dumping your weight into your joints in a way that's going to feel very uncomfortable. So taking this blanket, we're going to take one side, fold it in half, and then I'm going to take the other side, just fold it in half the opposite way. One time, and you'll decide if you want to fold it over one more time or what you want to do once you know how the pose is going to go. So you want to give yourself plenty of space and set the blanket up so that it's behind you. I'm facing you so that you can see the whole shape, but you want to be facing the long ways of your mat. So your blanket would be positioned more like this. Okay. And you're going to start out in front of the blanket. So here's what I'll do. I'll demonstrate facing this way, and then I'll demonstrate facing forwards as well so you can see. The first thing you're going to do, sort of from your tabletop shape, you tuck your toes. You're going to lift your knees up, come to almost a down dog, but separate your feet as wide as the mat and walk your hands back towards the feet. Now, from this position is where you figure out where to set the blanket. You just want to put it so that it's right behind your feet, but right where you could reach it with your own arms. If you need to bend your knees in order to do that, then so be it. But it's just kind of right there, just behind your heels, maybe a few inches in between. You're going to turn your toes out. So heels are in, toes are kind of pointing out at a slight diagonal. You want to keep the fingertips on the mat for this, and then start to lower your hips all the way down onto the blanket. I got to move mine a little bit closer, and I'm going to fold it up a little bit thicker. Use the hands, come all the way down, so the hips are resting on this blanket or pillow or whatever you have. And the elbows come inside the legs. The hands are facing each other. You have this really big stretch through the hips. I'll turn to face you just so that you can see, but as you're ready and this is making sense to you, just go ahead and jump into it. And we're going to hold here for a couple minutes. So just to give you another example, feet are nice and wide. Use the hands to help you. Come all the way down. Elbows are inside the knees. So see how I'm kind of using my elbows to press my knees open, and at the same time the knees are pressing on my arms, keeping me nice and balanced in the middle. So there's sort of this opposition of pressing out and pressing in at the same time. You want to think about pushing your heels down into the mat as well. Think about how we did that in our mountain pose when we're standing straight up. And that's a way to keep the legs very engaged, just by pushing the feet down into the floor, right? So if you're in this squatting pose, you're keeping your legs active. You may feel like your glutes are a little bit activated here. Now, I don't want you overthinking this, just let it be what it is, but know that there's so much power in this shape. Do your best to keep the chest lifted, like you're trying to move your heart towards your thumbs. And then close your eyes if you can. Take a few breaths here. Coming back to your intention here, repeating it 4, maybe 5 or 6 times. When you're ready, start to release the hands, make some circles with your wrists. I'm going to bring the hands in front of you and really engage your glutes. Press through the heels to help you shift forwards and lift the hips up. You're going to rotate the feet in. Take a little pedaling with the feet here. Or I'm sorry, not the feet, the knees. Just sort of bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Shaking that out nice and gentle. Now you can stand all the way up if you want. To move the blanket kind of back to how it was. And we're going to switch and do the left side. This is kind of how the moon salutation goes. It's all in one direction, then all in the other direction. Then we'll come back and meet in center. And then next week when we go through the whole sequence, it'll start to make even more sense kind of how the flow goes, like It's like a U shape almost, this arc. If you think about the phases of the moon, you would see it almost as this U shape. So the sequence is sort of designed to mirror that. Um, what did we just do? We just did our malasana. Now we're switching sides. So we're moving to the left leg. And we're moving to lizard pose in the left leg. So all the way here. That left foot is out to the side. So the configuration is foot, hand, okay? Again, you have the option to just sort of leave the foot just how it is, just take this nice wide stance. Or you could rotate to the outer edge of the left foot, let that leg just sort of drop open, let the hip naturally loosen up and open up. You could use the left hand to push that leg away from you as well and get an even more intense opening. I'm going to do this for today, it feels good. But choose whichever variation feels good in your body. And then get curious about the sensations that come up, the thoughts that come up, and breathe through it. Notice how the stretch initiates in one place and then travels to a different place in the body. So just sort of contemplate why that is and how that works. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more time, deep inhale. Deep exhale. Bringing both hands to the mat if they're not already. Lowering the sole of the left foot to the mat if it's not already. And then slowly start to heel toe your foot to the center, finding your low lunge. For just a moment, then rock the hips back for the half split. Okay, so remember the hips are sort of stacked on top of your knee, maybe a little bit more forwards. And you want to emphasize lengthening through the front leg. If the knee's a little bit bent, it's totally okay. But the intention here is to stretch the back side of the front leg. So whatever you need to do to target the hamstrings, you may even feel a little stretch at the top of the foot. And breathe here. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And on the next inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale to relax into your low lunge. Positioning the ankle so that it's just underneath your knee. I want to get that nice right ankle. Big stretch through the front of the right hip. Maybe you drop the chin, get a stretch through the neck and the shoulders. You're going to tuck your back toes and lift your back knee and come into this runner's lunge. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, step back for plank pose. And then exhale to push back for downward facing dog. Ah. Length through the back of the neck. We're here for 4 more breaths. Start to lift up your heels and then drop your knees all the way to the mat, finding a tabletop shape here. Lifting up the feet, take some circles with the ankles. And bring the big toes together. Separate the knees as wide as feels comfortable. Pull the hips back onto the heels, finding child's pose. Reach the arms long in front of you. The forehead presses down to the mat. Coming back to your intention for the final time. Reminding yourself why you came to this practice today. What are you looking for? Bring the press into your hands. Lift up your head, lift up your chest. Walk your hands closer to your knees. Coming all the way up to kneeling. This is called hero's pose. You're going to reach your left arm up over your head. Take a big side body stretch towards the right side. Maybe the elbow comes down towards the mat. Another option is to place a pillow next to you to let the elbow start to rest on. You're looking up towards the ceiling or down towards the floor. One more big breath here. And exhale. And inhale to come back up to center. Exhale, the hands come to the knees. Keep the eyes closed here for a moment. Sort of reflecting on this full circle experience that we had together. Yin yoga is much different from vinyasa yoga in many ways. I feel honored to have had the opportunity to share this practice with you today and just show you a little different way to move your body while still having a really profound impact on your energy, mood, your mental clarity, comfortability in your body, and all of that. Now let's bring the palms of the hands together in the center of the chest. Taking a moment here just to find gratitude for this practice in general, to all the teachers who came before us and showed us this practice, let us know the best ways to go about this. But more than anything right now, find gratitude for yourself and your own desire to show up for yourself in this way, your own desire to make time and space for this practice. Because it is true that the only thing you can do, or the best thing you can do for anyone else, any other people, any other community, is to work on you. So thank yourself for the work that you're doing for yourself and for everyone, the all. And we'll share all of the benefits and the merits of this practice with one another by sharing one final breath. So take a deep breath in, thumbs come to the forehead, and we bow to each other as we exhale. Fluttering your eyes open, lifting yourself up whenever you're ready to. Really take your time, and if you desire to sort of rest and lounge on your mat blanket a little longer, I encourage you to do exactly that. Remember next week is our last session where we'll put together this entire sequence. We'll actually begin this session with a little bit of the vinyasa flow that we learned previously, just to give you a nice warm up, open things up, move things around first before we move into this relaxing moon flow, moon salutation. A couple of more things. Remember, tomorrow is the new moon, so I would definitely avoid any sun-based yoga practice. So the sun salutations A and B, definitely want to avoid those as the energy is going to be very heightened. You may feel like you can do things that you can't normally do. And that is just a recipe for disaster and danger. It's very possible and highly likely that you could hurt yourself going too far too fast, doing too much, kind of biting off more than you can chew. So just take it really easy tomorrow. This kind of darkness of the winter solstice that was yesterday and Capricorn season beginning today, new moon tomorrow, it's kind of giving us this really beautiful birth, life, and death cycle that we can experience. So for myself personally, I feel this is a great time to just ground yourself by sitting on the ground, hands on the earth, meditation, um, a hot tub or cold plunge, some water therapy will be really helpful just to bring you totally full circle with this energy right now. Also, a reminder that I do teach yoga sessions private in a one-to-one setting where you can let me know what's going on in your body, what's going on energetically or emotionally for you, and we'll tailor the shape specifically to what your needs are. Um, Included in that is a tarot reading where we can really dive deep into what's going on for you energetically, like I said, and sort of gain a new perspective and a little bit of a glimpse into what's coming next for you. And then use the movement as a preparation to sort of get you almost marinated, so to speak, in the proper way to set you up for success in what's coming next for you. So that's what the private yoga sessions sort of look like. And this weekend only, or I guess it's today and tomorrow only, I'm offering those tarot sessions just by themselves. So if you want to do a tarot reading, you're interested in what's coming up for you in Capricorn season, or perhaps what's coming up for you in the new year, even, this will be a really great opportunity for that. It's something that I like to do on my own anytime we switch into a new a sign. Right now we just switched over into Capricorn, and I'll do a reading for myself today, specifically just to kind of see what to expect and what's in store for me for Capricorn, and kind of what energy can I take on in order to be successful in sharing the love and sharing the magic, which is always what my intention is. So that's everything. Thank you so much again for flowing with me today. Again, my name is Sienna. You can find me on Instagram at coached by Sienna. That is listed below in the description on this video. And I hope to see you super soon. Hope you have a great day and you're feeling really good. I'll talk to you later. Mwah.